Tonight, we step into the shadows of history to uncover three mysteries that still haunt us. First, Inspector Kane investigates one of the most infamous unidentified killers of all time, Jack the Ripper, the Butcher of Whitechapel. Then, Ayla takes us aboard the RMS Queen Mary, a luxury ocean liner turned into one of the most haunted places in the world. Finally, Detective Gaspar unravels the eerie disappearance of Brandon Lawson, a man who made a chilling 911 call before vanishing without a trace. These are stories of crime, hauntings, and unexplained vanishings. Let's begin.
I'm Inspector Kane, and tonight, we step back in time to 1888, where the streets of London were terrorized by a brutal and mysterious killer, Jack the Ripper. His gruesome murders, taunting letters, and complete disappearance have made him one of the most infamous criminals in history. Who was he? And why was he never caught? Let's uncover the terrifying truth. Jack the Ripper is a name that still strikes fear and fascination over a century after his gruesome crimes. In 1888, the Whitechapel district of London became the hunting ground of a killer who preyed on women, leaving behind mutilated bodies and a trail of unanswered questions. His victims were primarily prostitutes, and the level of violence was unlike anything the police had seen before. Bodies were left with deep slashes, organs removed, and throats cut with brutal precision. It was clear that this was no ordinary murderer. This was someone who took pleasure in his work. The press quickly picked up on the hysteria, dubbing the killer Jack the Ripper after a letter, allegedly from the murderer himself, was sent to local newspapers. The letter was filled with taunts, promising more killings to come, fueling the public's fear. As the murders continued, the police were desperate for answers. But forensic science at the time was primitive, and with few reliable witnesses, the killer remained an enigma. The streets of Whitechapel were dark and dangerous, perfect for a predator to stalk his victims unseen. Many believe that Jack the Ripper had medical knowledge due to the way he dissected his victims. Some theories suggest he was a doctor, a butcher, or even a high society gentleman hiding in plain sight. But no matter how hard authorities searched, he was always one step ahead. Over the years, countless suspects have been named, ranging from a royal conspiracy to an unknown lunatic. Some believe the Ripper was caught and quietly silenced by authorities, while others think he simply disappeared into the shadows, never to kill again. What made Jack the Ripper different from other killers wasn't just his brutality, it was the way he seemed to enjoy the fear he created. He toyed with the police, left behind cryptic messages, and turned Whitechapel into a living nightmare. Despite the passage of time, the mystery of his identity remains unsolved. Countless books, documentaries, and investigations have tried to crack the case, yet no definitive answers have been found. His name still lingers, whispered in dark corners of true crime history. Could modern forensics finally uncover the truth? Or will Jack the Ripper forever remain a ghost of the past, a legend born out of blood and terror? Jack the Ripper's reign of terror may be buried in history, but his legacy lives on. A killer who was never caught, a mystery that will never rest. But now we move from a historical nightmare to a place that has become infamous for its hauntings, the Queen Mary. Jack the Ripper remains one of the most chilling mysteries in true crime history. His identity has been debated for over a century, yet no answers have been found. A killer who vanished into history, leaving behind only fear and speculation. But now, let's move from the dark alleys of London to a different kind of haunting aboard a ship filled with restless spirits.
After Inspector Kane closes another unresolved case, the chilling questions linger, but there's no time to pause. Now we step into a world of shadows and whispers as Ayla takes the lead. She's ready to explore a mysterious location steeped in eerie legends and spine-tingling tales. Are you brave enough to follow her into the unknown? Let's uncover the secrets of this haunted place. Let's go.
I'm Ayla, and tonight, we step aboard the legendary Queen Mary, a ship once filled with luxury and life now known as one of the most haunted places in the world. From ghostly apparitions to eerie whispers in the hallways, the spirits of the past seem to linger here. What secrets does this haunted ocean liner hold? Let's find out. The RMS Queen Mary once sailed the oceans as a luxury ocean liner, hosting the rich and famous. But today, it sits permanently docked in Long Beach, California, where it has earned a reputation as one of the most haunted locations in the world. Originally launched in 1936, the Queen Mary was a marvel of engineering. It served as a glamorous cruise ship before being converted into a troop transport during World War II, but its history is filled with tragedy accidents, deaths, and eerie occurrences that seem to echo through time. One of the most haunted areas on the ship is the infamous Room B340. Guests have reported violent paranormal activity blankets being ripped off beds, faucets turning on by themselves, and ghostly whispers in the dead of night. The room was even sealed off for years due to the sheer number of terrifying incidents. The ship's engine room is another hotspot for ghostly encounters. Many believe the spirit of a young sailor named John Henry lingers there after being crushed to death by a heavy door. Visitors claim to hear banging sounds and feel an eerie presence watching them. The first-class swimming pool, though now empty, is still said to be occupied by the spirits of women and children. Guests have reported seeing wet footprints leading away from the pool, even though no water has been in it for decades. Strange shadows appear in the hallways, sudden cold spots chill the air, and eerie laughter echoes from empty rooms. Many paranormal investigators believe the Queen Mary is a spiritual time capsule, forever trapping energy from its past. Skeptics argue that the ship's hauntings are nothing more than legends, fueled by its eerie atmosphere and tragic history. But even those who don't believe in ghosts admit there's something unsettling about being aboard the Queen Mary at night. The ship now serves as a floating hotel and museum where guests can experience its haunted history firsthand. Paranormal tours are a major attraction, drawing ghost hunters and thrill seekers from all over the world. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the Queen Mary stands as a relic of the past, filled with stories of both luxury and tragedy. Some say the ship never truly stops sailing, it just crosses into another realm. The Queen Mary remains one of the most haunted places in the world, its corridors filled with whispers of the past. But now, let's turn to a modern mystery one that involves a chilling phone call and a disappearance that remains unexplained. The Queen Mary stands as a chilling reminder that some places hold on to their past. Whether it's the echoes of history or true paranormal activity, the ship continues to fascinate and terrify those who step aboard. But now, we move from ghostly hauntings to a modern mystery, a man who made a desperate 911 call before vanishing without a trace.
Haunted places have always been shrouded in mystery with no clear answer.
everything.
I'm Detective Gaspar, and tonight, we investigate a case that remains as mysterious as the day it happened, the disappearance of Brandon Lawson. A frantic 911 call, a stranded truck, and a man who walked into the night, never to be seen again. What really happened that night in Texas? Let's dive into the details. Brandon Lawson was a 26-year-old Texas man who vanished on August 9, 2013. After making a mysterious and disturbing 911 call, his case remains one of the most baffling disappearances in recent history. That night, Brandon had an argument with his girlfriend and left their home in his truck, heading toward his father's house. Along the way, his truck ran out of gas on a remote stretch of highway near Bronte, Texas. Instead of waiting for help, Brandon called 911, sounding panicked and out of breath. In the chilling recording, he said he was being chased into the woods, that someone was after him. Then the call cut off. By the time authorities arrived, his truck was abandoned, with no sign of struggle, no footprints, and no clear evidence of where he had gone. His phone remained active for hours but was never answered again. Many theories have emerged. Was he hiding from someone? Did he fall victim to foul play? Or did something even stranger happen that night? Some believe he was hallucinating due to exhaustion or drugs, while others think he encountered something truly dangerous in the darkness of that Texas highway. Despite multiple search efforts, no trace of Brandon has ever been found. His family still searches for answers, hoping that one day the mystery will be solved. Brandon Lawson's case is a chilling reminder of how someone can disappear without a trace. A single phone call, a few words of panic, and then nothing. Another unsolved mystery left to haunt us. Brandon Lawson's disappearance remains one of the most baffling missing person cases in modern history. A cryptic phone call, a trail that leads to nowhere, and a family still searching for answers. Some mysteries leave more questions than answers, and this is one of them.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. Each time, we dive into chilling true crime cases, eerie haunted places, and baffling missing person stories. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment with your thoughts. I'd love to hear your opinion. Stay tuned for more mysteries in the next episode.